In today's video, I'm rating your very best FM24 Newgens with a slight focus on the more obscure. Perhaps I'm looking for a striker that hails from Lebanon, for example. But I've managed to find 6 of them from all around the world that really tickle my fancy. They're fantastic. So let me show you them and I'll give them a rating out of 10. Come on. I'd like to start here with a new gen submitted by Tomku. Tom, thank you very much for submitting Saif Rashid. Saif Rashid is sensational, and as I mentioned, I'm looking for slightly more obscure new gens. This guy hails from the United Arab Emirates, which if you can get an unbelievable new gen from the UAE, I think you're doing something right in your FM saves. He's in 2032 here with Bromley, and this is his newly signed central defensive midfielder, and he's a bit of a beast, isn't he? Amazing mentals, great physicals. He's got, well, they're 15s or above on all of the physicals. He's 6'1", great tackling, great marking, really amazing positioning in there, and on the ball he's okay. He's got 13 passing. He describes it as such, so I've asked, when I've asked you to do this, there is a form where you can submit your new gens. If you want to add some of yours, if you think yours are better than in today's video, feel free to submit them. We may yet make another video before FM25 arrives. When FM25 arrives. When you submit the form, I ask you to describe your new gen. And Tom has described his player as such. His name is Saif Rashid. He's from UAE. His current ability is 186, so we've got a bit of an insight there. Missed out on him when he was starting out because I had no money, but managed to buy him from Man City for an astonishing 220 million euros, 189 million. He has only just signed one appearance. Did play very well in that game. Does that mean that when I rate him at the end here, am I going to have to count that against him, that he hasn't got a legacy with you yet? I don't know. We'll see when we come to it. He is really good, isn't he? He then goes on to say, maybe a bit too much, but installments. Hey, you're preaching to the choir with that one, my friend. He says, did not help me win the Carabao Cup for the first time. He's lost 4 in a row, but he's pretty much won everything with City. Won a few personal awards like Asian Player and Young Player of the Year. Placed 3rd in the new gen. He's got insane physical attributes with great mentals and good technicals for a DM. Might not be the best ever, but he's my best. And do you know what, Tom? That's all you can do in life. You can just do your best. And do you know what? Saif Rashid is really, really good. I think I'm going to have to mark you down on my rating out of 10, though, just because he's not, I don't think you can consider him your new gen yet. If you'd signed him from Shabab Al Ahly and you've had him for a while, then yeah. But because you've had to spend big on him and he's kind of only just come in, I'm going to have to take a few off, even though he's really good and I like him a lot. I'm going to give him a 7.5. Let's move on to the next one. Oh, before we move into new gen number 2, a quick plea from me saying please subscribe to the channel. We are aiming for 100,000 subscribers. I'm putting it out into the universe. I'm saying it. We're on 78,000. I think we can do it, especially with the new game eventually arriving. Please help me. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Let's get into new gen number 2. In at number 2, I have this man here, Muayad Younes, courtesy of Mr. M. Breezy. Breezy, thank you for submitting your new gen, and he is a joke of a striker. He hails from Syria. I keep saying hails from in today's video. I don't know why. I've never used that as a term before. He comes from Syria, which definitely gives you bonus points here when we're looking for the best and most obscure new gens. And did you sign him? This is your Avely save. So with Avely right now, are you in the Premier League? At this stage, I assume so, with a player that's on 150k. You're winning the league with Avely here. Fair enough. Did you sign him from an obscure player from the Czech league? So this Syrian striker comes through in the Czech league where he scored some goals for Sigma Olomouc. 6.5 million. That's a big tick for me. Did you sign him from an obscure place? Yes. Did he cost a tiny amount of money? Relatively speaking. Yes, he did. Has he scored goals for you? Yes, he has. Does he have a full legacy just yet? No, which actually I know that you mention when you describe him. In your words, Muayad Younes, Syria, already world class at just 21. That is actually something we do need to mention. This guy's going to get better, isn't he? 21 years old, got 32 caps and 26 goals for Syria already. He's been named World Under 21 Footballer of the Year after just 1 season in England. Would have gone on to achieve more, but had I not stopped playing this save for a couple of months, he deserved better. I agree with you. He's really good, isn't he? I love the fact that he's already scoring goals for you. I love the fact that he's only 21. He's going to get better. He's from Syria. It ticks a lot of boxes. The 5 stars just looks lovely at the top there. Good pros and cons as well, actually, if you just read into this look. He's like not getting stuck into challenges as a con shows that he's pretty good. I mean, and also not fitting in yet, but he's still so young and hasn't been here that long. I suppose 54 games. He's been here for 2 seasons, right? World Under-21 Player of the Year. Has to give plus points because of that as well. I'm going to give Muayad Younes, Breezy's new gen striker, 8.5. By the way, let me know what you want to give these as ratings. I will do a pinned comment that has, first of all, the timestamp of where each of the new gens comes in, and then I'll let you rate below your ratings and see if you disagree with me. We've had a 7.5 and an 8.5. I'm basing that on a myriad of things, really. And obviously, some of them are strikers, some of them are defensive midfielders, as we've seen. I'm looking on like obscureness, legacy. Obscureness is not a word, is it? Obscurity, legacy, and just generally how amazing they are for their position. And then with those things, I'm coming up with a sort of vague number. You know, that's the system. So get along with it. Let's have a look at new gen number 3. New gen number 3 is this man here, courtesy of my good friend Pav, who has submitted this monster striker, Lamar Hendry, who is English, but actually, if I go into his information, does actually hails from Australia, which is where he was picked up from, which is adding his little bit of obscurity. Maybe we take away some points because it's not as obscure as some of the other ones, but I had to include him because this guy is 6'9". And if you know the way to my heart, it's big, tall men. That is, don't clip that. Don't clip that. Big, tall men on FM who will score goals and be able to head in the ball. 16 heading, good acceleration and pace for a big man as well. Amazing strength. Obviously, the amazing jumping reach up at 19 as well. Also has the finishing of 17, though. Only 22. And I think he is deserving of being here on this obscure list as well because he was picked up from Australia. He starts his career in the CU Academy. Moves to Dagenham Redbridge, goes back to Australia for 21k, and then you've got the little small transfer fee, which is always a good thing to look for. 3 million to come to Wolves here, and then 22 goals, 26 goals, 3 and 4. Average ratings going absolutely crazy here. 7.64 last season. What a player. Let's see how Pav describes him. He says, after a somewhat auspicious start to his career, I found him lurking in Australia, where if there's any justice, I assume he's doing Lamar jokes there, isn't he? If there's any justice, I can only assume he was down under fighting kangaroos. I just won my 3rd title in a row at Reading in the 20-person network game. So this is in a network game as well, which is always, I suppose, does that add things? If you sign a really good new gen in a network game, I think that's quite useful. It is on the Mad Scientist Retro database as well. He took over at newly promoted Wolves, and after signing for 3 million, he signed 22 goals in the league in his first season, then 39 goals in all comps last year. I didn't even notice that. 26. It was 39 and 37 all comps. This guy's he also led them to the title. They won the league because of this guy up front. I think I'm going to have to score him highly because it's my type of new gen. And it is still a little bit obscure, but I'm going to take a couple of points off because of that. You know, tenths of a point I'm going to take off for that. I'm going to give Lamar Hendry an 8.8. He's really good, isn't he? I think some of the attributes could be improved, but he's really good. Next, our 4th new gen is this man here, Alexander Petrov, submitted by Michael. Michael, thank you for sending in your right winger here, I think is where you play him, right? He is from Bulgaria. Pretty obscure, maybe less obscure than, say, a UAE new gen, so maybe we need to factor that in. But this guy is seriously good, isn't he? 20 flair is the thing that jumps out. 18 technique. He's got this trifecta of really good attacking attributes, dribbling, finishing, first touch. Does have the pace, not necessarily the acceleration that is top elite at 14. Great agility and balance, though. I think we're picking tiny little holes in things there, aren't we? This guy's really good. Bulgarian as well, so I'm going to give you the slightly obscure title on this one. Signed for 3.5 million from Bulgaria, so that's a big tick for me. Been here for 5 seasons, so he's building that legacy. In fact, he's really building that legacy. Look at this season, 25 goals from right wing, 7.61, 19 goals the season after, 30 goals the last full season in 40 games, 7.49, and he started okay this year as well. He is really good, isn't he? Am I taking things away because he's a Bulgarian and it's not as obscure? I think that's the only thing I can really look at. How do you describe him, Michael? You say signed him from a Bulgarian team for 3.5 million when he was 19. He's now valued at 120 million, as we can see. He's captain my team. Okay, he's captain as well. 18 leadership, but hadn't actually noticed that one. That is a nice little extra thing in it as well, isn't it? That he's a good captain too. I'm looking at his pros and his cons. Fairly inconsistent and also doesn't enjoy big matches. There's some tiny little tenths of a point being taken off for those. I think we have to be picky when we're looking for the best new gen, the best obscure new gen anyway. I'm going to give Petrov an 8.3. That's really solid. Maybe I'm being harsh. 8.3. In at number 6, we only have a screenshot for this one, so I don't know if we need to remove some points because of that, but we have Jacobs striker Georgios Apostolidis, who I had to include because he is just so good, even though I'd love the save file, please, just because then we can go and check other things and see awards and all sorts and, you know, really get a proper measure of the player. But we have this guy here, Georgios Apostolidis, who is so good as a striker. We slightly different skin to compare here, so we have slightly different colours to look for. But have a look at these physicals. 18s all the way through. We've got, I mean, 14's the lowest with strength, but otherwise it's 16s and above. He's 6'4", my type of striker. Great pace, 18 acceleration, 18 pace. Great jumping reach, the agility, the balance, the trifecta of attacking attributes here, the dribbling, the finishing, the first touch. So good. You can't really see some of these other ones underneath this because that's how the screenshot's been taken. But it does say 17 heading, I think, just under there. So that is good enough for me. Great penalty taking as well. Actually has the leadership that we saw before. Off the ball is amazing. This guy, though, is super impressive because he scored 126 goals in 129 games. I've seen one thing that I don't like. He is injury prone. I don't know if he's missed lots of games for you, Jacob, but that is a bit annoying. But again, we're splitting hairs a little bit, aren't we? Because just look at the state of him. And look how many goals he scored. This is an unbelievable new gen striker. So we have to score this one highly. Is he obscure enough? He's Greek. It's pretty obscure. You don't have loads of like world-beating Greek players, do you? So I think I'm gonna include it. And I don't think we can take away too many points for that. He also was signed from Olympiacos for 11.5 million, you can see in here too. So you've got the proper signing from a more obscure league, and he's playing for FC Cologne as well. So it's not even like he's at, you know, he's obviously a long way into his save of 2038, but it's not one of the big teams at the very beginning of the game. So I'm going to score this one highly. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I think he's the best one so far. I don't know if you agree. Let me know in the comments down below, but I think he might be the best one. Let's have a look at my final new gen. And finally, we have this man here, a centre-back, a defender to include in today's video, because I thought we've got one defensive midfielder, then we've got mainly attackers, and I think our best new gens often are attackers, aren't they? But a centre-back here in Job Odiambo from Kenya, courtesy of Rui. Thank you, Rui, for submitting this man here who I really like. I think I'm going to score this one fairly highly, you know. I don't know if it's going to be the best one, but I really do like him. He's only 23 and he's Kenyan. And that is a big part of this. The obscure nature of signing an amazing Kenyan centre-back is really, really cool. Especially considering you signed him from Portugal, I think it was. You did spend big on him. Does that take away some minor points? Maybe, perhaps. I like it when they're from an obscure place and they're a true bargain. Although even at 40 million odds here, he is still a bargain. Look at these average ratings. Signed from Vitória in Portugal. He's gone on to be your best centre-back. 23 years old, great captain as well at 18 leadership. Just look at the physicals. 20 balance on a 6'3" centre-back with 18 acceleration and 17 pace. This guy is just almost a perfect defender. 18 jumping reach, 16 heading, great positioning. If we're being critical, is it the passing? If you want to use him as like a ball player in there, he's got only low passing. The vision though is really, really good. So I think we're splitting hairs, aren't we? 17 tackling. Only 23, so he's going to get better. Look at the pros and the cons. He's all pros. There's no cons for Job. He is just the Job. I really like this player as a new gen. I think it ticks all the boxes. Maybe the only thing is that he wasn't an out-and-out bargain. But that might be the only thing. So, Rui, thank you for submitting him. I'm going to give him an 8.8. I think he's just off the striker we just saw, the Greek striker. But there's some things that I love. 8.8. I think that means that the best new gen in today's video is Apostolidis, the striker that we just saw. Let me know what your ratings are, though. I'm really, really intrigued to see what you would rate them. As I say, I'll do a pinned comment that has all of the players. And then if you just reply to that pinned comment with your ratings, Be really cool to see what you guys think. But thank you very much for watching today. We're going to keep doing videos like this. Again, if you want to submit your own players, I will put the link to the form where you can submit them as well in the comment section and in the description of today's video. We've got like 350 odd submissions, so we've got some good new gens to look through there, but maybe we could find a few more. Thank you for watching though. Please subscribe to the channel if you're not already done so, and have a lovely rest of your day. See you in the next one. Bye bye.